Hello, my name's CRAIGO and I'm a fully qualified chartered global management accountant. And today I am going to be talking about how you can pass your CIMA exams, but more specifically, how I passed the full strategic level of the CIMA qualification in just 4.5 months. Now you're probably thinking, well, how on earth did you do that, considering that CIMA recommend 10 to 12 weeks per exam. To pass the full strategic level in 4.5 months, you're pretty much having to sit an exam every 4 weeks. And I fully believe, having done it myself, that this is achievable. And although I don't recommend you do it, certainly at the last stage, at the strategic level, where you've been sitting exams for probably 2.5, 3 years now, and you want to sprint through the end, get the job done, then I certainly do feel like as a short-term solution, then you can work through those final exams. So I'm going to basically be touching on two main elements for today's video. First of all, I'm going to run through what a typical exam structure would look like, and then I'm going to demonstrate exactly what I did to pass each of the OTs in 4 weeks, and then pass a strategic case study in 6 weeks. So first of all, let's jump straight in with the typical advice and guidance given to you in order to pass each module of your exam. And the first part of any exam is to get your tuition booked in and work through the tuition. Now, if you choose an online live course or a face-to-face course, these courses typically last for 6 weeks. So you will go to a class twice a week for 6 weeks. You will do the homework that they set, and then at the end of the 6 weeks, you will begin your revision. You will then have 4 to 6 weeks to continue to learn the textbook material. Take past practice questions, do mock exams, and then after 4 to 6 weeks, the idea is you have the knowledge that you have to sit your exam at the 10 to 12 week mark. And that's the Astranti Bell. Astranti are an online tuition provider who offer full-length CIMA courses, revision material, and mock exams. You will have access to free certificate level material and 1 free mock per exam thereafter. On top of that, there is an online library full of paid material which you can access to help you progress through your CIMA qualification. All you need to do is sign up using my referral link below. In advance, if you do choose to use my link, I do just want to send out a massive thank you for doing so. But enough of that, back to the video. I typically sat them 6 to 7 weeks. However, when I got to the strategic level case study, I'd been sitting exams for 2 weeks, and I know that doing a sprint is not sustainable, but when I only had 4 exams left, I wasn't looking for a sustainable option. I was looking for the most effective way that I could study for my exams. So now I'm going to run through exactly what I did at each objective test and then at the case study. Starting with the objective test, as I touched on before, usually you would do 6 weeks of the tuition. I signed up to the on-demand course and I completely skipped all the videos to begin with. And I went straight in with the textbook and I started to write. I skimmed the textbook 2 whole ways through and I wrote notes on that textbook. And that took me about 2 to 3 days. Once I'd got an understanding of what was included within the syllabus, then I would start straight away with practice questions. Because no matter what people tell you, I can assure you, you learn how to pass your exam with practice questions and mock exams, particularly at the strategic level. Because at the strategic level, you're not tested on what 5 forces are on Porter's model. You're tested on how you apply Porter's 5 forces into the real world environment. That is not textbook learning, and the only way you can get better at doing that is to take on more practice questions and do more mock exams. So straight away, I exposed myself to past questions and mock exams, and I essentially worked through every single question that I could do. So if you compare that to the original approach, essentially I've cut out all the 6 weeks of tuition, and I'm just starting straight at the end of the tuition, doing all the questions. And then as I need to learn and refer back to the material, then I would go back to the textbook and refer to the material that would help me to understand the area that I was struggling on. And then you're probably sat there thinking, well, how did you have enough questions? Well, yes, you're right, I had to buy more material and there is a bit more of a financial commitment, but given I only had 4 exams left, I was more than happy to do that. And by exposing myself to questions for 4 weeks. I then sat my exam, and I felt like I then had the knowledge that I needed in order to pass that exam. And truth is in the pudding, I passed all 3 objective tests first time, studying for each one for just 1 month. Now the case study is a different gravy. It isn't just about doing objective tests, you need to do a full write-up, and actually best way that you could pass your CIMA case study, I believe, is with collaboration. The case study were the only courses that I would do online live. I would attend the lectures, I would get in a WhatsApp group with every other student on that lecture, and I would collaborate with them, feeding my ideas off of theirs. And it really opens your mind up to different avenues that you can explore throughout your case study and your case study answers. The pre-scene is released, I believe, 6 weeks before the case study exam window. So you really have no option but to take the full 6 weeks to prepare for that exam. Now, if you total up those 3 1-month objective tests and the 6-week case study, then that equals a total of 4.5 months to pass a full level of the CIMA syllabus. Now, a disclaimer here, I'm not saying you go out and sit your exams as quickly as possible and do each objective test in a month. Because if you do that and you're starting at the operational level, working all the way through, you're going to suffer severe burnout. But for a short-term sprint, for the strategic level, being so close to the finish, it was something that I was willing to put myself through.